I've been sitting with a question for the last day or so as to why some people's lives don't appear to change once they've awakened. And this is going to be a multi-layered answer. um, I think there's many layers and levels of awakening. You can wake up and see all of the inversions of this reality. Wake up into that 4D space where everything is shit and garbage and the world is run by psychopaths and everything's upside down and inverted and awful and evil. And you can fall asleep there too, at another level, at another layer. And in that sense, your life is not going to change. Um, the awakening doesn't actually start to change people's lives until they start to go inward, do the work, and resonate at different frequencies. And it's as you start to clear your vibration, do the inner work, clear up your distortions, you rise to new frequencies. Jobs fall away that are no longer in alignment. Friends fall away that are no longer in alignment. Relationships fall away that are no longer in alignment. And as you change, your reality does change. However, from the outside looking in, it can appear that nothing has changed. So there's people in my world that I keep at an arm's length because uh, it's just better and easier that way. And these are people that I love that I still have to interact with or choose to interact with. And they wouldn't be able to tell you all of the ways that my reality has changed in the last several years. It's an illusion. It's an appearance that everything is the same. And I feel like that's what a lot of awakened souls can present as, in this illusion that everything's the same. And there are a lot of things that I just don't talk to people about or tell people, or feel the need to, when it comes to how my wealth has multiplied, how the love in my life, the quality of the relationships has gotten that much cleaner and clearer. And as I've been returning the love back to myself, all the relationships mirror it back. The ones that don't, I'm still asking, is there a lesson, or is the lesson just to put some space and let them be them and me be me and love them from a distance? Because that's a perfectly fine answer as well. But the question of, like, why does it look like some people's lives don't change? I think the process of awakening, and I've been through at least 3 major awakenings and a spiritual initiation to this point. I also had a Kundalini awakening as well. And I'll talk about each of those on their own at some point, or maybe not. We'll see. But each time it's brought in a new version of me. It's helped me let go of things that I wasn't. I can say, like, the Kundalini awakening helped me purge out some of the lower, some shame, blame, guilt, jealousy, right? But would that look any different in my outside reality? No, it really didn't. It took a few years for my vibe to change enough through the practice of letting go and integrating everything that had happened in that Kundalini awakening, to where my relationship at the time, my ex-husband, it just didn't resonate anymore, and I had to let it go, had to walk away. But interestingly enough, the universe forced the situation where I couldn't stay. The behavior that he was doing was just so out of alignment. I had to say no, no more, and let go and let it fall away. But would you see a direct correlation between that level of Kundalini awakening, that particular awakening, and the change in my life? Not necessarily. And it's like noticing these smaller patterns or smaller details Those are the things that stand out. It's noticing the questions people are asking, the way they're carrying themselves. How long are they staying in places they don't want to be? Are they putting themselves in service at the expense of themselves? Are they people pleasing? Are they performing? And these are all things that as we awaken higher and higher, we're beginning to examine and look at and let go of. Well, if some of the people that are asking the question, well, why doesn't that spiritual, why isn't it changing anything? Probably because you're being kept at a bit of a distance, bro, because you're a little bit toxic and not in the frequency anymore. Anyways, just a little bit of thought there and some theories. I've seen the patterning too, where people they wake up in one sense, or they have an awakening, and they're falling right back to sleep. They're going right back to the patterns that are comfortable. They're looking at the world outside of them and blaming you, everyone outside is at fault. They're not taking the accountability for themselves. Well, you're not going to rise higher. Your reality is not going to change if you are functioning from the same patterns as you always have. And it's not until you start to see the world around you, everything outside of you is you projected out. And anywhere someone is doing something to you, it's highlighting a pattern you're running in the opposite, where that you actually require that, or your frequency is inviting that. And that's not to say, you have to put up with bad behavior. That's not it at all. And victim shaming, blaming, whatever, I'm not playing that game. It's take full responsibility for your reality and it will shift. So as you awaken, as you rise in consciousness, you become more aware of the interconnectedness of everything and you at the center of your universe, your reality. So as you awaken, everything changes and nothing changes. And until you're experiencing it, you're not going to know what I'm saying. You're just going to have to keep going, keep rising. All of it matters and none of it matters. There's this beautiful paradox. And I can say, like, from the outside looking in, my relationships don't appear any different. But I can tell you the quality of time spent together, the quality of conversations, the depth, it's all changed. The amount of people that I used to keep close, these things have all changed and shifted. There's other changes I'd love to talk about that you really can't see from the outside looking in. But on a personal level, I don't really feel the need to put my personal business out there. My finances, yeah, they've changed. They're so much better than they ever have been. And that's just one aspect. But it's that, yeah, you can awaken. You actually have to take some steps and do something with it, though, if you want to see the world around you changing for the better and not worry about what anyone else is seeing.